He was not born a king. He was not born rich. And he was never meant to rule an empire. Yet this man would rise from obscurity and place a crown on his own head. This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, a man who conquered Europe and was ultimately destroyed by his own ambition. Napoleon Bonaparte was born in 1769 on the small island of Corsica. At the time, Corsica had just become part of France. Napoleon grew up poor. His family had noble roots but no real power or wealth. In mainland France, he was treated like an outsider. He spoke French with a strong accent. Other children mocked him and looked down on him. This rejection shaped Napoleon. He became quiet, focused, obsessed with proving himself. While others played, Napoleon read books about war, history, and ancient generals. He believed greatness was not inherited. It was earned. France soon fell into chaos. The people were starving. The monarchy collapsed. Anger filled the streets. The French Revolution began. Kings were overthrown. The old system was destroyed. For most, it was a time of fear. For Napoleon, it was opportunity. He joined the army as a young artillery officer, not famous, not powerful, but very observant. Napoleon's first major chance came during the siege of Toulon. France was losing. Commanders were confused. Napoleon noticed something simple but powerful. If they controlled the high ground, they would control the battle. His plan worked. The enemy was defeated. Napoleon was promoted. For the first time, France noticed his name. After Toulon, Napoleon rose fast. In Italy, he shocked Europe. With smaller armies, he defeated larger and more experienced forces. He moved quickly. He attacked unexpectedly. He broke traditional rules of warfare. His soldiers admired him. He marched with them, ate the same food, shared the same dangers. To them, Napoleon was not just a general, he was one of them. Victories made him popular. Popularity gave him influence. In 1799, France was unstable again. The government was weak and divided. Napoleon returned to Paris and seized power. Without becoming a king, he became first consul. Officially, France was still a republic. In reality, Napoleon ruled everything. As leader, Napoleon brought order. He fixed the economy, reformed education, created new laws. The Napoleonic Code gave equality under law and still influences legal systems today. People felt safe again. And when people feel safe, they follow. In 1804, Napoleon made a bold move. He crowned himself Emperor of the French, not the Pope, not the Church. Napoleon himself placed the crown on his head. This moment changed everything. He no longer wanted to protect France. He wanted to dominate Europe. As emperor, Napoleon expanded his empire. He defeated Austria, crushed Prussia, forced kings to kneel. He placed his family on foreign thrones. Europe feared him. Fear kept him powerful. But power also blinded him. Napoleon began to believe he could not lose. Then came his greatest mistake. Russia. In 1812, Napoleon invaded Russia with over 600,000 soldiers. The largest army the world had ever seen. But Russia did not fight directly. They retreated, burned their own cities, destroyed supplies. Napoleon marched deeper. Winter arrived. The cold was brutal. Soldiers froze, starved, died from disease. Napoleon's army collapsed without a decisive battle. Only a small fraction returned. The myth of invincibility was broken. Europe saw weakness. Former enemies united against him. In 1814, Napoleon was defeated. He was exiled to the island of Elba. The emperor was gone, or so they believed. 1 year later, Napoleon escaped. He returned to France. Troops sent to stop him joined him instead. Without firing a shot, he regained power. This period became known as the 100 Days, but time was no longer on his side. In 1815, Napoleon faced his final battle, Waterloo. Rain slowed his army. Mistakes were made. Opportunities were missed. For the first time, Napoleon was completely defeated. This time, there was no comeback. Napoleon was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, far from Europe, far from power. He died there in 1821, alone, yet Napoleon's influence never disappeared. His laws shaped modern nations. His strategies are still studied. His rise proved that talent can overcome birth. And his fall proved that ambition without limits destroys even the greatest minds. So was Napoleon a hero, a tyrant, or simply a man who reached too high? History still debates his legacy. And perhaps that is why Napoleon Bonaparte will never be forgotten. Thanks for watching.